ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of the topics under Introduction to Vedanta. We are presently in the topic named the three bodies or Shariratrayam, and the three bodies have been named as the Sthula Shariram or the gross body, or Sthula Deha, the Sukshma Shariram or the subtle body, or Sukshma Deha, and Karana Shariram, the causal body, or Karana Deha. We have been looking at the bodies from the point of the four factors involved in understanding each body. We have completed studying the Sthula Shariram from the standpoint of four factors, namely the material from which the Sthula Shariram is built, the components of the Sthula Shariram, the function of the Sthula Shariram, and the nature of the Sthula Shariram. Similarly, Swamiji took us through each of these factors concerning the Sukshma Shariram. We looked at the material. Material is the Sukshma Panchabhutani as against the Sthula Panchabhutani of the Sthula Shariram. Then we looked at the components that make up the Sukshma Shariram. We saw there were 19 components. And we looked in quite amount of detail at the description of those components. And Swamiji contrasted the Sthula Shariram with the Sukshma Shariram, saying that if the Sthula Shariram is akin to a residence or an office, then the Sukshma Shariram, the entire package of 19 components, serve as the instruments of transaction. We saw that the Sukshma Shariram, the components of the Sukshma Shariram, were enumerated as the Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Pranaha, and Chatvari Antahkaranani, totaling to 19 components. Then Swamiji took us through the function of the Sukshma Shariram is to perform all the transactions with the help of the 19 components. Swamiji then talked about how there are some organs that serve as a two-way transactional organs, whereas most others serve as single-way or one-way transactional organs. So this is where we left off in the last capsule, the function being the third factor through which we look at the Sukshma Shariram. We will now move on to the nature of the Sukshma Shariram. The Sukshma Shariram, like the Sthula Shariram, is also subject to change. Is also subject to change. We observe that organs belonging to the Sukshma Shariram weaken and strengthen. Many diseases result because organs weaken, be it a cataract, the loss of hearing, memory failure, dullness of the intellect, etc., and so on. Thus, we find all organs are subject to change, just like we saw how the Sthula Shariram is also subject to change. The Sukshma Shariram, as compared with the Sthula Shariram, enjoys a longer life. So, the first nature of the Sukshma Shariram we looked at was the nature of the Sukshma Shariram. Then we're looking at the longevity of the Sukshma Shariram. It definitely, our Shastra says, enjoys a much, much longer life than the Sthula Shariram. The gross body lives only for a maximum of 120 years. But the subtle body, Sukshma Shariram, continues for janmas together. Janmas together. Bodies change, but the Sukshma Shariram continues until pralayam or dissolution of the entire creation when it is dismantled. This is borne out by verse 22 of chapter 2 in the Bhagavad Gita, in which Lord Krishna says, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. Krishna says bodies are removed like we remove old clothes and wear fresh ones. The continuity of the Sukshma Shariram also explains why we sometimes remember events of or even enjoy the benefits of our actions from our past janmas. Thus, the Sukshma Shariram has a longer, much longer life when compared with the Sthula Shariram. The Sukshma Shariram, we move on to the third feature or the nature of, while studying the nature of the Sukshma Shariram, the Sukshma Shariram is evident and recognized only by oneself. It is not recognizable by others as compared with our Sthula Sharirams. What I think and feel is known only to me. For example, My memory power, my knowledge, etc., is known only to me. We all know this. It is because of this that understanding human thoughts and emotions becomes quite difficult. Couples married for 25 years are still trying to understand each other. This is the nature of the Sukshma Shariram or subtle body or Sukshma Deha. With this, we have completed studying two bodies, the Sthula Shariram and the Sukshma Shariram. Having looked at the four factors, let us quickly recall them: the material from which the two bodies are made. They are called Bhautika Shariram because they are made of the Panchabhutas. The Sthula Shariram from the Pancha Sthula Bhutas and the Sukshma Shariram from the Pancha Sukshma Bhutas. Then we looked at the components of each of the bodies. Then we looked at the function of each of the bodies. And finally, the nature of the two bodies, the Sthula and Sukshma Sharirams. Let us now examine the third body, namely the Karana Shariram. Karana Shariram. In English, the causal body or Karana Deha. From the standpoint of the same four factors, that is the material, the components, the function, and the nature of the Karana Shariram. What is the raw material from which the Karana Shariram is made? The material out of which it is made, the Karana Shariram is made, is called causal matter. Causal matter, not casual matter. Be very careful. Causal matter, the subtlest form of matter. Technically, it is called avidya. Avidya, another paribhasha shabda, a very significant paribhasha shabda or a technical jargon, technical Vedantic jargon. Avidya normally means ignorance. Avidya means ignorance. In this context, however, it refers to or points to the Karana Shariram. Avidya is called Prakritihi, Prakritihi or Maya in some other contexts. Swamiji prefers to use the word avidya to refer to the Karana Shariram or causal matter, the subtlest form of matter. The subtlest form of matter. We will pick up the thread in the upcoming capsule and complete our study of the three bodies. Hari Om.